Yo, what's going on everybody? It's MF Buddy. I'm back with another video to help you master your zero build gameplay. This is a recent ranked duos match that I played with Phinicky. I'm going to be taking this time to break down some thoughts, some strategies, show you a little bit of the communication and chemistry. On top of all that, it was just an exciting game, so I think that you're going to love this video a lot. If at any point you do, make sure to like the video, comment, and if you want to, go ahead and subscribe for all things Fortnite zero build. But let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so I'm going to try to do this. There is some game audio in the background, so it could be a little bit jumbled at times, and I do apologize about that. I think in the future, I'll try to make sure that I isolate the vocals a little bit better. But Phinicky and I in ranked duos, we always land back here at this south side of fencing. We do have a drop map, which means that, you know, a drop map is something that you can purchase, which will show you the exact places that you need to be dropping if you want to be the first one down. It's very, very typical and common in competitive Fortnite. And there's some that you don't have to buy as well, but this is one that Phinicky bought from, you know, somebody that makes drop maps. So if you really are growing in ranked and competitive and, you know, you're new to it, consider checking out drop maps. If you really are choosing a POI that you're just going to land all the time and you want to learn how to dominate it, that's one of the surefire ways to do it. So we tend to land on this front side of the POI at this main mansion. When we do land here, I tend to go for this balcony right here, and there is a couple reasons for it. There is a room on either side right here, and there is a chance that a chest will spawn in both rooms, and there is a permanent chest spawn right underneath attached in like this chandelier. And so I'll quickly come in here, I look for floor loot on the balcony, I check either room for chests, and then I'm going to go for the chandelier chest. I peek over at the loot. Sometimes I do that in case there's a team close by. I don't want to give up the height, fall into a trap, that type of thing. But what we will do right here is just look for loot and heals as quick as possible. And then we're listening as well to other potential fights to see what's going on, because there was 2 other teams that landed here. Yeah, so I'm saying right here, let me see if I can get a look at any of this. And I don't see anything quite yet, but I'm kind of on the lookout. This guy's in the tower. I don't hit any shots right here because I just don't have good aim. Bad rain, terrible rain. So my loot is looking actually pretty decent, and that's one of the things that I feel like is underrated about this POI. I feel like I always leave with pretty decent loot, and I don't even want to say underrated because a lot of people land out here at this point. Finicky's comment that he hit one for 40. And it looks like it's one team that is chasing another team to go and try to finish them. So obviously we're going to look for a quick third party. I see this guy right here. And I see that they're out in the open. Just really struggling to hit a shot right there, but it's all good. So these guys kind of get away. And we're just going to kind of, if I'm not mistaken, I think that we just kind of give it up right here and we just stick to looting. Yeah, Phinicky was saying there's a team from Windmill that might be rotating in. That is one of the normal things that you see, is you'll kind of fight this POI, and then there's usually a team that comes in from the north heading south from that windmill house to contest. Normally when we do land here, there's actually, dang, great throw. Normally when we do land here, we actually end up with probably 2 kills minimum. A lot of times it will walk away with 4, 5. We walked away with 6 before here too, just really had a lot of action at this POI, which is fun. It's a fun little POI to me to fight. So I mean, like, as you can see as well, I mean, green AR, blue auto, purple burst, really great loot. And what I love about this is you loot and then you come out on this backside, you have this pad to keep things moving. So what we like to do right here, ideally we like flow berry fizz or just, you know, a berry to pop or something like that, but we're going to rotate to the right and contest these houses. Oh, those guys just came back and we had just rotated just a hair too early. We could have fought them. But typically what we do is, if we're super healthy and all is well, we'll rotate right towards the houses, and we rotate snooty if we're kind of like recovering from a fight that we barely won. So we're healthy right here, so we're going to go right. I give Phinicky the purple burst right there because he's just absolutely goated with it. I'm learning how to get better with it. I've been spending a lot of time practicing, but I'm saying right there that I'm going to keep the hand cannon because I think it's going to be a great combo because he's going to use the burst. And if I'm hitting them with the hand cannon for like 89 damage and he's shredding them with the SMG, it's just wraps. All right, so this is the team that dropped at the same POI. Phinicky comms that they're rolling up. It's those superhero skins. So right now we're just holding this back ridge. Finicky's holding this bunker. And the whole idea here is that we're wanting to defend this loot bunker, right? So I don't even think it spawns in on this round, but we're gonna fight these guys. He lets me know that he has one cracked. I get a quick knock right there. And so now we're just gonna push in. He's frying this guy. I'm just making sure that I hold cover. I'm looking for another angle on him and we're just gonna contest it and take the fight. So Phinicky really opened up that fight right there with the burst SMG. And like I had calmed earlier, I was looking for big damage with the Deagle and relatively simple fight, all things considered. Really, the whole thing with that fight is we fought from the advantage of that ridge and they didn't really know that we were there. So right after we finish this fight, immediately Phinicky, is going to go over here and so I hear another car coming up. Phinicky rushes up because he has EMP, so he's going to look for the element of surprise on these guys. They heard the third party noise. He's going to EMP. They're focused on Phinicky, so I sneak that guy right there. I know I hit this guy for 70. I'm going to rush in and I'm just going to finish it. Phinicky says I'm insane. He put some respect on my name. Thank you. Somebody else takes a wrap at it. Yeah. So I get headshot sniped right here. Phinicky is kind of solo on this. I'm kind of like upset at first because I think we're going to sell it and it was like a good game. He struggles to get through the window right here, but Phinicky just does what Phinicky does and he's about to pop off. Let's go. Phinicky is a goat at 2v1ing. So he's gonna res me right here. Yeah, he was trying to mantle through the window right there and it just bugged and it just wouldn't let him get through. There's a quick tip right here. So if you both fizz at the same time, it's obviously going to like 2x the speed of that. So I mean, I just got to 100 shield in like seconds right there. The cool thing about this, obviously we fought 3 teams right there, which means there's loot for days, which means that we're super healthy and we're chilling. But yeah, that was literally back-to-back third parties right there. One of the things that we do in ranked as well, it doesn't really matter about the guns that we have for the most part, but what Phinicky and I constantly communicate is the utility. So at random points, even though I've said it 2 or 3 times, I'll just say 6 shocks, 2 bunks. And he'll be like 6-8 EMPs and 2 bubbles or whatever he has. And it's just important to know what utility that you guys have as a team, because the closer you get to endgame, the more that stuff just matters like a lot, Yeah, so Finicky's saying right here that he thinks that this guy is probably going to res because the direction that he's going doesn't make sense just with the map. So he's just giving the impression that he's a solo going to reboot. And so right here, I speed up ahead to go cut this guy off. And I'm just going to start trying to fry him. I get back in the car. I know that I'm running low on fuel right here, but we know that he's a medallion. We're confident that he's probably a solo. And so we're just trying to capitalize on the opportunity, right? I'm saying that I have low gas right here and that I'm going to try to make a play, and I'm going to make sure that I use the rest of my gas to get as close as possible to this guy. And I'm communicating right there. Yes, he's definitely a solo because I'm the one that can see him, right? All right, so I run out of gas. I'm going to hop in Finicky's car and we're going to keep the momentum going. And right here, I'm just going to start looking for tags. Nice. do a good amount of damage, and I fry this guy right there, 27 white, right? So I'm letting Phinicky know this guy's shambles. I get on this roof. Yeah, I tell him to keep going because I know that we still need to keep driving. And we're saying that it's the dash medallion and that we really need it. I think unfortunately we actually don't kill this guy. We don't kill him, and then when we roll up to this hill over here, we see that there is a lot more happening, and we just know that we probably have to give it up. So I'll hop back in, and we're actually just going to give it up. We're going to play something different right here because it doesn't make sense to hyper focus on that much longer. And I see a lot of people, you know, do that, especially when it comes to ranked. There is such a smaller window of how long you can be in a fight before you are selling your game. Like, there's just too many good players. There's too many real players around. And realistically, if you can't finish a fight quick enough, it takes time to really learn it. But it's almost like the amount that we chased that guy right there, that was like I knew that was getting into too long, and then sure enough, it was like there was people everywhere. If we chased that guy down, we would have lost this game. We would have sold it right there. Finicky's coming right here to break this wall. He thinks he has an angle on this guy. So I'm asking him right here, hey, did you say crack? Because I'm going to hop on this guy, right? Awesome. So Phinicky cracks him, and I just know that I can put pressure on and finish it off. I call him the second guy behind this tree. I put a danger mark on it. All right, so I'm going to shock right here. And I'm behind this guy, but I notice that there is another team. So I'm going to bunk. I immediately let Phinicky know. And now I'm just kind of waiting and observing the situation. And I'm telling Phinicky, get over here. We can third party this. Like, it's free. We're good. Phinicky hits him for 100. That guy gets away. He's a solo, but there's still the guy down in the bunker. I think he's a solo. Look at this. So Phinicky does a lot of EMP damage. It is two people. They're both moving. We're just going to ape this. Nice. So we just clean that up right there. Honestly, EMPs are like so stupid overpowered, especially in ranked, because like you're putting EMPs in players' hands who just are incredible at the game, right? So in my opinion, sometimes they are super annoying. They are super overpowered. I don't necessarily know if I think they should be like in the meta much longer. I think they're actually pretty unbalanced, but like while they're in the game, it's like, I'm going to use them, and it sucks when they get used on me. So we destroyed that because EMPs just like rocked both of them for all their shield. So we have a bunker now. We're paying attention to the loot, and I'm saying that I'm going to grab bubbles because I think it was like one bunker. Phinicky notices footsteps. I had a big shot on that guy, and it's just wraps. So right there, that's like a very, very like good ranked play right here. And I'm going to kind of walk you guys through this just really, really quick. So Phinicky notices the footsteps on this, right? Phinicky notices the footsteps. He says, on us, on us, on us. So he got hit pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. Like, let's go back really quick. So look, he's 250 right here. And then all of a sudden he gets hit hard, right? So he says, on us, on us, on us. So we don't really have to talk about this, but this is kind of like a give and go, right? So Phinicky gets hit. That guy's going to be focused on Phinicky because of the amount of damage that he did on him. So we are going to do a quick swap without having to talk about it, and it's going to be a trade-off, right? So boom, he trades, I'm in, and I'm looking at this guy, 22. I know that this player is going to feel confident, so I'm expecting that he's going to peak one more time. And I'm going to try to capitalize on this moment right here. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to kill this guy, but I'm trying to interrupt his confidence, okay? So if I do enough damage, obviously I'm going to push. But right here, I see that he peeks out. I'm gonna look for a quick deagle hit. I hit for 89 and he cracks, right? He was confident because he hit a big shot on Phinicky. That was his mistake. He hits a big shot on Phinicky. We trade. I'm healthy and I'm gonna contest him. I hit that big shot. I fly to the right side of this to cover myself as I'm sprinting out. And then I'm just gonna slide and I'm just gonna contest him right there and 50-50 it. And it's just reps. So right here, we're gonna heal one more time. We got 10 team kills total and 25 up still in this lobby. So with a ranked loadout, you know, usually when it comes to my preferred loadout, I'm gonna run 3 weapons. I know some people are running 2 weapons. I think you can get away with running 2 weapons, to be honest. I still prefer a 3-weapon loadout and double utility. I just feel like I've developed enough skill where I don't necessarily need to carry heals. And I think that I do carry heals, but I tend to carry fizz more than anything. You're getting the mobility effect and the healing effect. Obviously, if it's a full fizz, I'm most likely gonna grab it depending on what else is in my loadout. Like if there is shocks on the table, I'll probably leave the fizz, but 100% there has to be bunkers or shield bubbles. 100%, it has to be there. Shockwaves and fizz, there's times where I choose the fizz over the shockwaves. Like for example, sometimes I'll let Phinicky just run the shockwaves and I'll run the fizz. And if need be, we can split shocks if the time comes. But as far as heals go, I tend to mostly just try to run fizz. There are some situations where it's just like you just grab something else like big pots, but I'm trusting that we're gonna win our fight together and then we'll be able to use heals off the player's body or get a moment just to heal afterwards. So Phinicky started getting tagged right here. And I just got a bubble down for us right there. Oh, I hit a big shot right there, 156. I'm telling Phinicky, let's go get in there. And I found right here that he didn't have mobility. And I mantled up right here, which was an accident, but it was perfect. And now I'm in on them. So we got the pressure. We got 1 knocked. I got 80. And I'm just like, rah. That is funny. So when it comes to like ranked play, one of the big things is like you have to like know when to capitalize on a moment and when to just like let it be. This was like huge, right? So this is a 156 headshot, and if you get hit 156, like, you know, it startles you, and especially in an Unreal lobby, if a player's first shot on you is for 156 damage, you're immediately thinking that this guy's good, right? So it's a message to the psyche. It's like it's interruptive, you know? So I know that if I hit this shot, it's a mentality of these guys are afraid, right? They thought they had us, and boom, we from a position down here at a disadvantage just hit them for 156. Now we're gonna ape you. It's a mentality, right? So I get up here and they're both already scrambling. They're scrambling, and I can just tell these guys don't know what to do. So they're freaking out. They're afraid, right? They're spazzing out, and they're just using these freaking mythics for some reason, and it's just reps. Those guys were both elite. I feel like they should have known how to handle that a little bit better, but it's all good. So like right here, I mean, like to talk about the inventory again, like this guy had a big pot, and that's good enough. We're all right. We're gonna keep moving. I left those 2 bunkers because I think Phinicky has 4. I wouldn't leave him unless I felt like I knew he had. We're just gonna get that thirst right there. And right here, I mean, we're basically in zone, so we're just gonna hold this height and we're gonna look around for what's free. We don't have to rotate in yet, right? Just because it's there doesn't mean that we have to go, right? The zone is there, but we have an advantageous position. A lot of people are about to be rotating in, so we're going to look for what's free. All right, so I tell Finicky right there that we actually need to chill out, because at this point, we're the only people that are shooting. And when it comes to a ranked lobby, and obviously I'm talking about like, this is an Unreal ranked lobby. So these are like you pay the price quicker when there's these type of players in a lobby like this. But everybody's rotating in right now, and we are the only team that is shooting their guns, which means that everybody that is rotating knows exactly where we are and most likely is going to have the focus on us. So what I say in that moment is, hey, we should chill out, because everybody is going to be focused on us. And in an Unreal lobby, if everybody has their focus on you, like you're not going to make it. And so I tell Finicky, I'm like, hey, let's take a breather. We're chilling. We're vibing. He's saying right here, hey, we got to go. We got to rotate. Phinicky actually has grown like so much, like in Endgame, like IQ. And the way that we play is kind of like, it's like a co-IGL type situation. There's some situations where I just lean into what he's saying, and there's some situations where he'll lean into what I'm saying. We're both pretty high game sense at this point. And so right here, we're just going to rotate. We're going to take advantage of the underworld dashes, and we end up bunked down here. He's calling for an early rotate right here, so we're going to go. I'm letting him know, hey, we got 1 on our left. And in Endgame, it's important just to like call. It's important just to like call out what you see, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to focus it, right? So I call out right here, hey, look to your left, there's a guy on your left. I just want him to be aware, like I'm aware of it, right? So we actually just let that guy go. Finicky hits 116 right here. He ends up with a knock, so we're going to try to capitalize on this. We're just going to look. I saw the knock body a little bit too late. This guy is shocking by. I'm going to get back to Finicky right here. Almost put a little bit too much attention on that guy, but it's all good. Making sure that we're not getting pulled up on from the back right here. But again, just because the zone is there doesn't mean that we need to get there like the second it opens up. So we're trying to be mindful. We end up in like kind of a weird spot right here. But the left opens up beautifully on this zone, and we are just going to try to stay left right here. I have no sprint because the game just refuses to give you any sprint. I'm going to try to get dashes to compensate for the fact that I can't get any sprint. And now I'm up with Finicky. I know that I need to play a bubble right here. That was just game sense. All right, so I want to talk through this like rotation right here about like why I knew that I was going to need to play a bubble in this spot. And like something like this might seem small, but again, this is all in a higher ranked lobby, like game sense. I know that this won't happen in pubs. Like I get that. So right here, I noticed that Finicky is getting pretty far ahead of me, and we're in a later zone, which means for the most part, everybody has visibility on everybody. And I noticed that there is a good enough distance that if someone sees him, they're going to try to shoot at him, and he's going to get a bunker down, and I'm going to be relatively far away. Like I'm not close enough that I'm going to have cover if this situation unfolds that I think is about to unfold. So he gets the bunker down. I know that I'm out of dashes, and I also know that I'm out of sprint. So I had the bubbles out from the get-go in case this happened, And the second that I realize I'm still at a sprint and I don't have any dashes, I'm ready to get this thrown. And then sure enough, the bullets start flying at me. So I get tagged right there, but I mean, like, it's all good. It's all good. So, and it's perfect. I'm gonna play these barrels right here. He's common that he hit 116 damage. I see this big pot and I'm gonna try to get as healthy as I can really quick. Phinicky actually starts going crazy at this end game with this sniper. It's just 116 is all I hear from him for the rest of the game. So right here, obviously everybody's just scrambling and we were in a good spot. So we're just trying to capitalize that we're on the dead side. And playing in a ranked endgame like this, although this isn't like insanely stacked, it's kind of like a dance. Like, you have to know when to take your shots and when you have to pull back. Like, that's a perfect example right there as I get like tagged. Pay attention right here just to how long I actually was on top. It was just too long. I should have known that this was coming. And honestly, I did, but I was just kind of risking it. But it's too much noise for someone not to look at you. It's too much consistent noise for someone not to pay attention to it and try to take a shot at you, right? So, and that's what you need to like keep in your mind when it comes to game sense is if you're making noise, somebody's gonna look. And it happened right there. And it's fine in this situation. But that could have been a headshot snipe and ruined the game. We're just kind of like doing a lot of damage. We were fragging out and we got hyper focused for a second. Phinicky says he's going to EMP the car. I say that I'm going to keep going zone right here. And I'm letting her know like, hey, dude, we got old bunkers right here. I'm going to play one of these bunkers, right? I tell him I'm going to go to the high bunker. I make sure all the doors are closed. And right now, I'm just going to look for something that might be free. This guy's in the air. I'm just trying to get hits on this guy. Hit him for 27. I got a little bit mixed up on the direction of zone right here. And I'm going to get on this guy because Phinicky did some damage. But I just can't get a shot. Phinicky finishes him off right there, which is awesome. At this point in the game, usually people start scrambling, right? So there's 5 up and it's just like full-on survival. So if you can stay calm, if you learn how to stay calm, you'll win so many more games. Like, there could be someone who has more skill than you, but they're just spazzing out, and you can win the end game if you're just the one who learns how to stay calm. Phinicky says he's gonna shock right here and then shock him out. And boom, sure enough, he does it. I look up and bam, big 160 hit right there, 61 white. This guy shocks me. I'm gonna shock back in. And I'm going to put a bubble down just to get composed right here. Get reloaded. Get composed. This guy's in storm. He gets worked right there. So I'm going to shock. Putting a bubble down again to get composed. I saw him rushing the bubble, so I tried to get out. Phinicky ends up knocked right here. But he let me know that he was cracked, right? And so I went up to this guy. I noticed that my shotgun wasn't reloaded. And I just tried to really make that shot count. And we ended up with a dub right there. All in all, it was a really, really good game. And man, really just like kept the synergy and the momentum going. But overall, just a killer game. That's going to wrap this one up. I hope that there were some things in here that were helpful for you and kind of gave you a different perspective If you liked the video, leave me a comment. Let me know something that you took away from it or something that you enjoyed. And also, yeah, subscribe. Just do it already or something like that. But until next time, GG's. I'm MF Buddy, and I am out.